more efficiently and pick off the unvaccinated.
The president telling Americans to expect more restrictions after internal CDC documents warn the war has changed.
Has increased from 12,431 to 42,323 in just a week. That's an increase of 243%.
Hey, you see this?
Here we go again.
The men are gonna need us.
It definitely will. This is getting crazy.
It's time to unite.
Let's do this. All right. What up, guys? Welcome to episode 183 of Player Life. It is Monday, the 4th of October here in Tokyo, Japan. What is good? Wade Emery in the house. What's up, man? Good morning to you, although it's evening here. Gabriel E in the house. What's up, bro? Spark 55 in the house. What's good? I hope you're well. Rishi in the house. What's good, bro? So all is good. All is good. Well, all is not too bad. All is not too bad. So it's coming down to it. Gonna be I think tomorrow is the when does it finish for pandemic pickup Delta variant? It's going to be closing soon, so get in while you still can. There is not much time left. If it's a dope course, honestly. It's really well put together. Simon in the house, what's up, bro? Hope you're well. The course is pretty sweet. Let me just show share screen. So this is the course basically. There's online game principles. There's a bunch of modules. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. There was supposed to be only 10, but there's actually 14. All about online dating, all about how to maximize your online dating profiles. Online dating is my least favorite. I really hate online dating, but these John MLD, that's his speciality. That's what he knows inside out. And online dating is one of the most competitive marketplaces. Like, you really have to know how to do it. Like, if you're just going online, unless you're like a genetically gifted like Chad, you just go on there and put a few selfies on there, But most guys are not like that. Most guys don't have that, ability. And then on top of that, you're dealing with things like the algorithm, suppression, censorship. So this course like covers like all the ins and outs of that. Because some guys, like, although I'm not a huge fan of online dating, like some guys need to use it. Like it depends on your location. Not everyone can do day game. Like not everyone is situated in a spot where they can just do day game. So it's kind of location sensitive. In game, hooking up with women is like there's a lot of different elements to it. It's not just like I say this all. It's not a one size fits all solution. Everyone needs a slightly different approach. Um, so, like I said, some guys will need to use online dating to want to maximize their sex life. So yeah, this course like has that down to a T. You know, just it's just like very helpful. Yeah, my specialty is obviously day game. That's the element I'm bringing to this course is day game. Like pick up cold approach because that's what I'm good at. That's what I'm here to do. That's what I figured out. I figured that out over many years, a lot of trial and error. I have um my own methods in that I share in this in these modules. There's 10 modules, breaks it all down. There's a fashion module, location, mindset, the cold approach, volume and commitment, same day lays, how to get laid, how basically my blueprints about how to get laid on the same day from cold approach. Arranging dates from cold approaches, dates, conversation on the date, and how to deal with flakes. All very practical, all very useful information. There's not any kind of like pick up bullshit. It's just all very like when you watch it, you'll realize that it's like very practical, very straightforward. Like you can use this stuff in real life. Then we have the escalation guides. This is the really interesting ones. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 escalation guides with 2 female models. And these are basically escalation guides about how to escalate with a girl once she is back at your place. And this is one of the most important parts of like the seduction process. This is when you're supposed to seal the deal. And if you're not sealing the deal at this point, you're doing something wrong. And these escalation guides are kind of like how to do it as smoothly and efficiently as possible while also turning the girl on, while just to increase your success rate. Because if you're clumsy about it, if you don't know how to close, like the girls will up and leave, and you might not see them again. Because there's one thing about women is they want you to get it. They want you to be able to read the air, read the situation, kind of understand, just understand how they feel and whatnot. So if you kind of fuck up at that point, it's kind of unlikely that you're going to see them again. In my opinion, it depends, but it might be, it's unlikely, because if you've gotten that far, right, you've done 1, 2, it might, ideally it's going to be the first date that you have the girl back at your place, but it could be the second or third date. But all these escalation guides, they basically they're showing you how to sexually escalate with a girl from like not touching to right up until the kiss. We talk a bit more about what to do after you start kissing, but it's basically how to start the process and how to sexually escalate. So let's see. Yes, let me see. Simon says, if you start if your start is in traditional game, online can be tricky. Yeah, online in a way requires a lot more. In a way, it requires a lot more patience, but it also depends. It also depends on your profile, how well it's set up, how good looking you are. There's a lot of moving parts with online. There's a lot of moving parts. Um, yeah, it's thing, you got to do it right, and that's why this course is teaching you how to do it. Otherwise, you're just gonna, you know, you're gonna the average guy is gonna suffer endless amounts of rejection, and it's almost as like, in real life, if the guy actually did cold approaches, he would never get that rejected that much. And that's what a lot of guys don't realize. Um, they don't realize it because they've never tried it. They've never tried day game. And when they get constantly rejected online, it can affect their ego, it can affect their self-confidence. And then they think, oh well, if I try this in public, if I try and approach a girl in public, I'm going to get rejected just as much. And it's like, no, bro, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. It's different. Like, when girls are looking at a screen, they're extremely selective. They're extremely selective. But guess why? Because they can. Because girls can be that selective. That's the simple answer to it. So male nature is also to blame. Like, we run women up the flagpole a lot. Kind of criticizing female nature, but in reality, it's also the men. It's the men who also cause this kind of imbalance as well, because men are the ones that are swiping on almost like all of the girls. So when men are using dating apps, they're like swiping, 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 even on the girls that they wouldn't date if they were paid to. Guys is kind of like, when they're using dating apps, most guys are like a holds a goal kind of thing. There's such a massive, massive difference between, just wanting to have sex and wanting to date someone. There's a very big difference. Fredo says day game is too hard, especially in public spaces. Day game is not too hard. No, it's a public space. Where else are you gonna do day game? That's where you do day game. Fredo says cold approach is worse than cold shower. Day game in public is almost impossible. I don't know. Are you trolling? Like, I mean, that's where else are you gonna do day game? That's where you do day game. That's where you find the women. Like, yeah, no, like, I mean, it's yeah, you find women out in public. Where else? Like, that's where you approach them. And we're told these days that you're not allowed to do it. That it's like it's forbidden. It's forbidden. You're not allowed to. But in reality, it's fine. You're not really doing anything wrong. God damn it. You're not doing anything wrong, like by approaching someone to say hello. If they don't want to talk to you, you don't pursue it. There's no harassment. There's no like, no. I don't teach that at all. Like, you don't harass some bitch on the street. Like, you're literally just going up to say hello. Just see it as that. And if someone ignores you, doesn't want to talk to you, doesn't respond, then you just fucking walk away. It's as simple as that. Like, J Hippo says men are causing this entitlement. Men are causing this entitlement. We can't let men off the hook. Like, there's obviously absolutely insane female entitlement, but who causes that entitlement? Fucking thirsty betas. Thirsty fucking betas. If men stop being so thirsty, like, all collectively stop being thirsty, then it might solve the problem. But obviously that's never going to happen. That's like saying, I don't know. It's just, it's just an impossible thing. Men. There's always going to be thirsty beta simp guys. They're never gonna like be um we're never all gonna be woke, we're never all gonna be like based, like, we're never all gonna be red pill. We're always gonna be most guys are gonna be simps. Like that's always the way it's gonna be. Um guys like people in the red pill or whatever like to romanticize, oh, men used to be so masculine, and it's like they probably were, but they're still with simps, um what was that famous Gillette ad? Where is it at? Yeah, here it is. Stop share.
Bullying. The Me Too movement against sexual
So I've shared this before,
We
but
believe in it.
we remember this woke piece of shit.
To say the right thing, to act the
Yeah.
thing, to act.
Well,
To act.
she looks kind of bitchy, like, sometimes when you see a chick like this, like if she has a bitch face and she's like strutting down the street looking like a bitch, then usually I don't approach, because they're giving off like signals that they don't want to be approached. Like when you get used to day game, you'll start to pick up on signs that girls give off. Like they'll just have a look about them. They'll have a bitch face. They'll be walking really fast. But still, like,
Act the right.
But he's posted up. He's gonna like go and do a cold approach. Doesn't necessarily mean he's gonna harass her or anything. It doesn't. He's just gonna go up and shoot a shot. I've done it hundreds of times where you just go up and say, "Hey, what's up?" Like, and if they ignore you, they don't talk, then you just drop off. That's it. Like, you just stop talking. It's not a big deal. But
Way.
Not cool.
bro, not cool.
Not cool.
Dude, like if someone got up and cock blocked me like that, that is fucking beef. Like, oh my god, I would be so fucking furious. Like, no, like you're not, like that would be a fight. Like, it would not be cool. Like, plus he's like touching on him, like he's physically getting in your way, like white knighting. Like, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of my way, motherfucker. Like right now. Like I would shove that guy so fucking hard. I wouldn't punch him. I wouldn't start like, but he already he's getting, he's like pretty much like pushing him, like stopping, like white knighting. And the average, the black guy, he's like the hero, like he's the hero white knight, here to save the day. Of course it's not going to be a white guy, because white guy, of course it's a white guy that's doing it, and he's not doing anything wrong. He's not doing anything wrong. He's just going to say hello to a chick. There's no evidence to suggest he's going to do anything bad, like that he's going to like harass her or anything. Who says he's going to do that? He's just going to roll up. Women want to be approached by guys that, basically women are never going to approach men. Like, they're never going to do it. It's not going to happen. Like one in a fucking 100 do it. Like, and they're not the most feminine. When women don't do it, basically. Women don't approach men. I mean, it's not in their nature. You shouldn't expect them to approach men either. Like, why the fuck? Like, there's this expectation. It's the most beta fucking cuck thing to do, to like go to a bar or a club and like just sit there and like, wherever, and just expect like women to approach you. It's such bitch behavior. I mean, I always remember, like, I used to know this guy up in when I first came to Japan, and he was a good looking guy. He was like he looked like a bitch, but he was like he was good looking. He had the model look. He had the model look that you could be very like. I know Japanese girls would like it. It was more like the clean, like clean shaven, like boy band look. He had like a, you know, it definitely not a Chad face, but he was like he had that fucking boy band look to him, and Japanese girls like that a lot. Um, you know, he would have been able to get with like kind of domestic girls that he would have been able to fucking go around the algorithm because like there's one misconception about Japan, and that is that, you know, there's this idea that, oh, if you're a white guy you can clean up. Fucking bullshit. No, you cannot clean up if you're a white guy in Japan. That's fucking bullshit. And I don't know what it's like to be any other race. I can't speak for anyone, but no, it's like no, they're not into that. Um, they're into way more feminine kind of. Plus, they, you know, Japanese girls, to be quite honest, they care more about money. They care more about money, and on top of that, they prefer more feminine, clean shaven, like fucking feminine looking guys. But anyway, this guy had that Western boy band look. He would have been very popular, even with he would have kind of been able to skirt around the algorithm because, like I said, Japanese girls don't really like, contrary to fucking popular belief, Japanese girls do not like any kind of just any kind of white guy. Like if I was really going to be trying hard to be like fitting in Japan, I'd shave this beard immediately, but I don't because I want to, you know, it suits me. It looks good. I'm not going to cuck myself just to like, you know, just like how do you say, placate, you know, just like just so that I might get with more Japanese girls, um, you know, yeah, placate Japanese girls. You know, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to be myself because once you start trying to, you know, once you start sitting on the fence, you know, you're sitting on the fence. You're like you're not being fully foreign, and then you're kind of trying to be like Japanese. You're just this little bitch on the fence. It's like, no, I'm just gonna be myself. Anyway, I'm fucking going on here, but my point is this guy used to fucking go to bars or clubs or whatever, and he'd sit there on a fucking stool, and I'd be like, "What are you doing, man?" And he was like, "Oh, I'm just waiting for some girls to come to me," and I'm like, "All right, but you're probably not gonna come, bro." And it's just funny because he wasn't doing it. He wasn't. He wasn't not approaching out of being too shy. He just had this fucking ego, this like inflated ego that he thought he was the shit. And occasionally girls that would approach him, but they would always be the bet down like bog standard, like five out of 10, 6 out of 10. Even like Japan's full of hotties. Like Japan's a country of sixes, but he the ones that would approach him would be like the ones that approach him would be below average, I would say. Below average. And he ended up dating this like ratchet fucking 5 point. She was I'd say she was a 5.9. She was a ratchet fucking bitch. And this guy was such a waste because he, like I said, he could have gotten with so many hotties. He had that look, that bitch ass boy band look. He could have done well here. You know, I wouldn't want to look like him. I wouldn't, even if it meant I would get more pussy, I wouldn't want to look like this guy. I just don't like that look. I don't want to look like that, basically. Um, but yeah, just a soft, blonde, smooth faced kind of pussy look. But it's fine. He would have gotten a lot of pussy, but he wasted it because he had a big fucking ego. That's the thing. You have to lose your fucking ego. Lose your fucking ego and don't be like this fucking bullshit idea that, oh, I don't care. Like, oh, I'm too cool for school kind of vibe. Like, oh, I'm too cool to make an approach. I'm so nonchalant about it. I just don't care. It's like, yeah, you're full of shit. Full of shit. And the funny thing is, this guy used to get jealous whenever, you know, he'd see me with real hot girls. And why did he see me with hot girls? Because I fucking went after them and approached them, you know. I went after these girls. I went up to them. I approached them because I'm a fucking man, and that's what you're supposed to do as a man, not be some little bitch. Like just like, oh, I'm too scared. It's fine, you know, we're all like scared, we're all nervous when we start doing it, but yeah, then when you start getting jealous or, you know, yeah, it's just I don't know. There comes a point in your life where you just have to fucking man up and face your fears. Like just have to do it. Um but yeah, let me share. Yeah, so this idiot on the left here. Yeah, that's how you get fucking your ass beat. That's how you get fucking into fights. You think that bitch gives a fuck either? Like, do you think that bitch is gonna thank him? Do you think that bitch is gonna thank that black guy for stopping? Like, even like, where do I even start? Do you think she's gonna like look at her? Look at this fucking bitch. Do you think she's gonna fucking thank him? Yeah, she's not gonna thank him for shit. She might have wanted to get for him to approach. Like, who knows? She might not have. She might not have wanted him to approach. She might have loved him to approach. They could have hooked up. They could have had babies. They could have had a family together. How do you think? How do you think we're all here? We're all here because because our fathers or our ancestors, all the males, some at some point in their lives approached our mothers. You know, so this fucking cock blocking motherfucking dickhead just might have stopped a good thing happening. You know, might have stopped a good thing happening. That's why I would like be so fucking. I would be so fucking furious if someone did this to me in real life. Like, never do this to someone, guys. Like, I'm pretty sure like no one would in this chat, but like it's not worth it. Like, what are you doing it for? Like, you fucking virtue signaling motherfucker, you little bitch. Like, you prick. Like, getting in someone's way like that, trying to stop their freedom. People getting up in your business. Like, get the fuck out of my business, you fucking dickhead. Like, definitely, like I said, I wouldn't punch him straight away, but I would definitely like shove him really hard, like full force, like shove him off me, like. And I'd probably go after the girl, and I wouldn't let him stop me. I would go because I wouldn't let him win. I wouldn't let him win. I would go and I would approach the girl, and if he kept on trying to stop me, it would be an absolute fucking like, this guy's trying to like, yeah, this is assault. Like, this guy, I'm gonna have to fight this guy. I don't believe in, I'm not a fucking. I avoid like trying to get in fights. I don't want to get in fights, but this guy wants to get, the guy on the left here wants to get in fights. This fucking little dickhead. He's the one that wants to get in a fight. He's looking for fights, like being a little fucking bitch, like trying to get in the way of some man's business. Like, no, like don't. I would never tolerate that. I don't know, man. Just like, yeah, like who the fuck does he think he is? But like really, like in real life, I've done thousands of approaches, and in real life, this has never. I'm trying to think. Has this ever happened to me? I mean, I've been cock blocked, but like I've never been like. I've been cock blocked in bars and clubs, maybe, like, but never. I don't think I've ever been cock blocked like this on a street. I don't think so. I don't think that's ever happened. Like, I mean, girls would maybe cock block. They'd like pull their friend away or something, but never by a dude. Like, a dude has never fucking cock blocked me. Like in all the years that I've been doing day game. So that's why, like, if someone actually did it, it would be so like shocking. It would be like, what the fuck? Like, holy, what are you doing, man? Get the fuck out of my way. Like, I just be like, why are you stopping me? Like, what are you doing? Like, I don't know. Just be a bizarre thing to happen. Yeah, so Spark 55 says the ultimate beta cock. Yep. I would be furious if someone did that. Yeah, I mean, just looking that advert is just like boils my piss from start to finish. But yeah, if someone did that, it would be just very very infuriating. Fredo says, I shake if she's too pretty. If I get past that, there's always a cock blocker in her girlfriend's group. Yeah, I mean, the thing about doing cold approach, that's what you get better at over time is like if you are like the thing that girls find attractive, when you're cold approaching is that you're confident, cool, calm, collected. That's what they find attractive. So if you're like nervous, that's a real that's something you have to overcome. I talk about, I make the analogy between doing cold approach and going to the gym. It's kind of like you have to build up that kind of social confidence, and because if you're nervous and shaking, it's gonna almost creep the girl out. She's gonna be like, it's gonna make her nervous. It's gonna like, like laughter is contagious. It's also like if you're nervous, it's also nervousness is also contagious, and it'll kind of creep her out, and she won't want to be. It'll just awkward. No one likes awkward situations. No one likes awkwardness. So that's like if you as the man can like reduce the awkwardness of a cold approach down to like zero, like when you approach a girl off the bat, it might be initially slightly awkward. She might be, but if you can like totally like kind of douse that fire of awkwardness, then it's she'll be impressed by it. She'll be like, this guy's like socially calibrated, he's confident. That makes girls feel safe as well, like when you're a really confident, relaxed guy. But today, I want to talk about FOMO and how important, the fear of missing out, the sense of FOMO is. We've all heard about FOMO before. And when it comes to getting laid, like you kind of need to have, when it comes to sourcing new girls, you want to have a bit of FOMO. You want to have that like sense of urgency, the sense of like the drive to go and source new girls. The most obvious way to get that FOMO is like to have a high testosterone, and most infamously is semen retention, as and I'm not one of these people that's like, oh, you can never bust a nut or never jerk off, but the less you do it, the better, without a doubt. Like the less you jerk off, the better. It really is. Like it's much better. It's much better to go out with a loaded gun than it is to go out and try and do day game when you've just like you've just busted. There's a big difference between you busting a nut with a girl and like jerking off yourself. There's a big difference. There's something in the fucking your body language. There's going to be something communicated. I don't know what it is, but you'll have an extra sense of confidence about you. There'll be girls will smell it. It's almost like girls will smell the pheromones of the girl off you. And girls we all know girls want to get with guys that other girls want to fuck and other guys want to be. So it's like the rich get richer, the poor get poorer. The guys that are fucking get more sex. It's kind of like the poor get poorer. Like the guys without not getting laid are getting laid even less over time. That's why when guys, they're on a drought. They're on a fucking drought. They haven't had sex in months. It can turn like serious after, it's like they haven't had sex in like, 4, 5, 6 months. It's like getting like, holy shit, that becomes a real problem then, because when time passes like that, you'll start to get into the habit of not getting laid, and you'll be rusty, and then your sense of confidence will decrease, and you're probably going to be you're most likely going to be jerking off a lot, and it's a vicious cycle, really. It's a real fucking it's a real vicious cycle to get into that, like, that non-sex fucking weeks on end, months on end, fucking going up into a year. There's guys out there going years without sex. Like, that could never be me. Like, I mean, I don't know what I'd do. I mean, to be quite honest, like, I'm not advocating at all, but I'm far too much of a dog, like, to be going that long without sex. Like, I don't know, if for some reason I lost all my game powers and shit, I probably would fuck a hooker. Like, I probably would. Like, if it was going on like 6 months, like, we're talking like 6 months, like, and for some reason I just can't do game anymore. For some reason I just can't do the simple thing about cold approaching a girl. I'm gonna bang a hole. Like, I'm gonna I'm gonna pay for it, basically. And I'm not saying I need to do that. Thankfully, I don't need to do that. But I'm just, these guys out there that are going years without having sex. It blows my mind. It blows my mind that they're able to, like, able to have so much self-restraint to not go and fuck a hole. Like, I don't know. And I'm not, by the way, I'm not advocating banging hookers. I don't think you should do it. But yeah, it's a vice. It's just a vice. It would be a vice. Like, if I for some reason I just couldn't get with women through the game, which I can't see ever happening, yeah, I probably would bang a hooker. Just because it's hard as a man to live, like, going without sex as a man is just like, it's not natural. Like, it's just not natural. It's not a natural thing. Like, we're supposed to be having sex every day. Like, that's what we're designed to do. That's what we're designed to, at least every few days. Like, you're designed to do it. Like, that's why you get that, like, for me, it's like, even a few days semen retention, a few days without busting a nut. I'm very, like, edgy. Like, I'm very, like straight. Like, I'm like, I'll be going out, to the train station. I'll be looking, there'll be hot girls around. I'll be like, damn, man, fuck, like, gotta go and talk to her. Like, fuck, like, maybe it's just Tokyo, because Tokyo is, like, exceptional. Like, I know I bang on about it all the time. I'm out here in Tokyo. There's, like, man, there's exceptionally hot girls, like, everywhere. They're just like, you can go out to certain spots and you'll see hundreds of chicks that you would bang, like, and then you'd see, like, 8s, 9s, 10s, like, just fucking perfectly hot, sexy girls, like, outrageously hot and sexy, just wearing these tiny little skirts and high heels, and fuck, man, like, yeah. So it's like, that's why, I don't know, Japan is like Tokyo is very ideal for doing day game. Like, it's an ideal spot to do it. It doesn't mean it's easy, but it's like, it's a good fishing ground. Like, it's a good fishing ground, like, because there's just so much numbers. Like, there's so much numbers to go out. Like, you can go to places and there's just gonna be so many different kinds of girls walking around, like, going in and out of stores, walking on the street, like, just standing outside waiting for someone. There's just girls everywhere, like, waiting to be approached, like, just, and it's not like it's not like a candy store where you can just go, they're all going to be fucking jumping on your dick or anything, but it is just a good hunting ground. It's a good approach ground for finding some hot girls to bang and have sex with. It's just so much better than, like, I've said this before. I don't pretend I couldn't live this lifestyle in Ireland. Like, I couldn't do it. it's not because, oh, you're just because it's not because, it's just there's not those kind of numbers in Ireland. It would kind of be, you could do it for a period of time in some cities, like maybe in Dublin, Belfast, maybe Cork, Galway. There's maybe 4 cities in Ireland that you could do it for a bit, and then it would kind of dry up, as in, like, you would become almost too, you would stand out too much because people would just fucking, yeah, I don't know. You could do it, but it would be we just don't have the numbers. It's too community, like you're in a community, everyone knows you. It's like it's harder. The most ideal spots to do game are places like where it's like you can be kind of anonymous. It's so much. There's so many people that you just be anonymous. Kind of, you could float through the crowds. Just talk to a random chick. You're never gonna see her again if she says, whatever. It's not gonna come back to you in any way, shape, or form. You're just like, it's such vast numbers of people. It's just ideal. Like, it's ideal for game. Simon Belmont says Irish chicks may glass you also. I don't, that's the guy. That's what guys think is going to happen. Like, I mean, once you become calibrated, like to game and female body language and all kinds of shit, like chicks aren't gonna glass you for saying hello. Like that's basically what you're doing when you roll up to a chick. You're just basically saying hello. You don't have to do all this fucking trickery and bullshit. Like, you're just being very fucking genuine, very honest. I talk about it in the course. I talk about it in fucking Pandemic Pickup, Delta variant, which by the way is closing very soon. So yeah, link in the chat. Like, use my link, sign up. It's dirt cheap. I mean, it's too cheap, honestly. Like, it's for the course content and the work that we put into it. It is actually too cheap. Like, I think. I'm not just saying that. It is actually, like, we put a lot of work into it. Just share once more. Let me share. Yeah, so there's all these modules. Like, there's an entire section on online dating, which Modern Life Dating, John from Modern Life Dating is a expert at. That is not my specialty. My specialty is day game. 10 modules, like pretty much everything you need to know about how to do day game, and all the techniques and all the methods in which I employ to get girls back to my place and to have sex. Like, it's just that simple. Like, 10 module, everything you need, from fashion to location, mindset, to the cold approach, to even the conversation on dates, to even how to deal with flakes. Yeah, there's a bunch of things going on here. Maybe I'll play a few. Maybe play one or two. Maybe I'll play. Maybe I will play. Yeah, since we're talking, play volume and commitment. Volume and commitment. When doing cold approaches, the more volume you work, the better. However, it is important to make sure that you are committed to every approach that you do. You can get lucky sometimes, and the only girl that you approach on a particular day, you will end up scoring. However, your lay count will not get very high if you are only approaching one girl every now and then. Remember, it is perfectly normal for nothing to happen with most of the girls that you approach. The experienced day gamers have approached thousands of girls without anything ever coming from those approaches. The more committed approaches you make, the more sex you will have. Always remind yourself of that. The most important word here being commitment. I just want to pause it there. It's really like kind of true. Like it basically boils down to like the more approaches you make, the more sex you'll have. That's like the baseline. Like it almost like boils down to that. But yeah, let's continue.
When you make an approach, fully commit to interacting with the girl in a genuine way. Don't half-ass a, hey, I like your dress, and give up when she doesn't respond or hear you properly. This is why you always make sure that they hear what you have to say. Most girls will have their earphones in these days, so gesture to them, wave before you speak. Some girls will ignore you because they think you are trying to sell something to them. In a way, you actually are trying to sell something. You're trying to sell yourself, but it's important that you don't portray that. Remember, you are the prize and she will benefit from spending time with you. That's the mindset you need. If they are unwilling to take out their earphones and ignore your efforts to get their attention, then you can give up at this point. But if you are going to make an approach, be committed to it, and at the very least, try and get them to hear what you have to say. Don't approach the girls like you have something to hide or behave like you are self-conscious about other people around you. If you behave like this, it will be perceived as being creepy and awkward. Never be creepy or awkward. You have nothing.
You know, when I say never be creepy or awkward, I mean, you know, when you start doing, obviously you don't approach girls like trying, you know, with the intention of being creepy or awkward, but it's basically just something that you get calibrated to over time. And the way you guys come across as being creepy or awkward when they appear, they're so nervous because they're worried, they're self-conscious about people around them, like, you know, that, so they're approaching a girl kind of trying to be in stealth mode, and it comes across as being creepy and like, you want to just fucking, this is what I'm talking about. This is why it's called, volume and commitment. You're committing to the approach. Like you're just like embracing it. You're not apologizing for it. You're not like, oh, excuse me. And you're bowing down and your shoulders are like like all hunched in because you're trying to hide what you're doing like a fucking, I see, you think I'm joking. Like the guy, I see guys doing that. Like I see guys approaching girls like that, and it's just creepy, man. It's not like you're trying to hide something. What are you trying to hide it for? Just approach her, like, you know, stand up straight, like, you know, talk to her, like, say what's up, you know. You're kind of like almost being like, you're just being honest with them. You don't have to fucking like have some sneaky strategy. Although, you know, I'm teaching strategies, but it's like genuine communicating to her like that you're, just a confident man, you know, that isn't going to apologize for approaching her. That's the way you have to do it.
To be ashamed of and nothing to hide. Act like it with every single approach. Fully commit in volume and you will get results.
Yeah, so that is volume and commitment. So that is very important in day game. You know, when you're trying to source new girls from a day game, you got to just like confidently approach in every single approach. Like if you're going to make an approach, try and do it properly. Like, you know, commit to doing it, even if it's just a short like approach. Don't be like whispering and like, you know. But at the same time, you have to become calibrated. You become fine tuned to it over time. There's certain like environments where like you lower the tone of your voice, not because you're trying to hide something or because you're not confident about approaching, but because it's in a certain environment where it's like appropriate to not be like shouting or like talking very loudly. You know, if you're doing an approach in a library or in a, and you can do approaches in libraries, you can do approaches in like bookstores, libraries, anything. So in these kind of environments, you like, you know, you lower the tone of your voice. It doesn't mean you have to whisper like, excuse me, no, like it doesn't mean that, but you don't like project your voice to the whole fucking store so everyone can hear you. You know, a lot of guys make they're uncalibrated kind of mistakes when they first start doing game. You know, I see this all the time when I'm doing boot camps. You know, guys just don't, they kind of just socially not like, you know, with it, but they get it over time, you know, and that's the point of them doing a boot camp with me. That's the point, because I point it out, I tell them, give them constructive criticism, and they're like, oh yeah, they get it then, you know, they understand. They're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Like, yeah, that was maybe why she was awkward or why she like shied away from the situation. But yeah, let me share another one. Since I've talked about the mirror technique, I'll share that as well. Let me share the screen. The mirror technique, the infamous mirror technique. You're gonna get to see it right now. The infamous mirror technique, mirror escalation technique. So, you know.
All right, guys, this is called the mirror escalation technique. It is basically a way to get intimate with a girl in front of a mirror by asking how tall she is. Very simple technique. It works a charm. It's a perfect way to escalate, actually. So you can basically start by asking how tall she is. For example, how tall are you?
5'6".
5'6"? I don't think so. Really?
Yes.
Let me check. 5'6". Wow. How tall do you think I am?
All right. So basically, you know, you're sitting, you get the girl back to your place, right? You know, ideally there should be when it works when there's a mirror in your sitting room. This is, you know, you're back. You haven't initiated that much touch before. You know, it could be the first date, so you're still kind of unsure. You want to escalate. She's back at your place. You're horny. You want to fuck, so you're trying to get things started, right? This is a perfect way to start off getting intimate with the girl. So you're sitting on the couch, and then you just basically say, how tall are you? And then she says how tall she is. She might, you know, and then you just say something like, really? Are you serious? Yeah. And then you say, you stand up first, and then you just take her by the hand and you lead them to wherever the mirror is. Like, you lead them over. The girls that aren't really that into you, they're not really feeling you that strongly yet, they'll kind of resist. They'll resist when you're trying to like take them by the hand. They might not come. Like, they'll kind of keep sitting down. They'll say, they'll try and resist. And that's a sign that they're not feeling you that much. Some girls will stand up and they'll come with you, but as soon as you stand behind them, they'll pull away. And that's fine. Just let them go back and sit down again, and then, you know, make your move again at another time. You know, watch a movie, take a break. But I gotta say, most girls, this is why I like the mirror technique, because, you know, most girls, they're back at your place. They're there because, you know, most girls know why guys are taking them back to their place. But you need to escalate in a smooth manner. So this is a very smooth way to escalate, in my opinion. It works a lot for me anyway. And you know, so you ask them how tall they are, you stand them up, you take them to the mirror, and it's important that you stand behind them. You stand behind them.
6'1".
6'1"?
Mhm.
Oh, you got it right.
So then you know, you ask them to you ask them to guess your height. You know, you're kind of playing around with them, you know, and you're literally you're hugging them from behind, caressing their stomach, their their legs or whatever. And obviously, like I said, some girls won't be receptive to it. They'll pull away and they'll come and go and sit down again. You know, and you let them, and you don't force it. That's the whole thing about this technique. You don't force it at all. Like you just let it. You know, the girls that they'll be receptive. They'll let you, like I said, they'll let you touch them. They'll stand. They'll be comfortable. They'll smile. They'll joke around, and you can just escalate from there.
You have a very nice body,
Yeah.
actually. Do you work out?
Yeah,
Really?
a lot.
So then, like, you can ask them, do they work out, things like that. And you're standing. It's obviously quite an intimate situation because you're standing right behind them, and you can start by maybe you can start by maybe kissing their shoulders, kiss their neck, and obviously see how receptive they are to you kissing their shoulders. If they're receptive to that, you can kiss the neck, move up, and
It's nice. I like it. You can initiate the kiss, turn them around.
So you initiate the kiss, turn them around, and continue kissing for the rest of and then you can obviously escalate further
And continue kissing. All right, guys. So there you have it. That is the mirror escalation technique. Works a charm every time.
Okay, so works a charm not every time, but it's a good one of the ways you can escalate when a girl is back to your place. Some guys might not have a mirror in their sitting room, in their lounge area. So but there's other ways. Like that's why we have a bunch of them. Like we have 16 different modules on on how to escalate. So you don't need to do the mirror technique. It's just a convenient one for me, and there's a bunch of others I use too. You can see, like, if you get into that course, you can see them. So it's going to be closing, I think, in less than 24 hours, I think, in Japanese time. I think midday Japanese time, so less than 24 hours. So, and once it's closed, it's closed. So get in there, sign up, use the link in the chat. It's just good content. It's just good quality course material. It'll definitely help your dating life out. So as usual, like, comment, subscribe, share the help me fight the algorithm. They don't like YouTube deleted one of my thumbnails just before I had to make a new one. They don't like this kind of content, YouTube. They don't like it at all. But here we are. I'm still on the platform, hoping to get to 1,000 subscribers, trying to make it happen. So get in on the course. It's solid fucking material, and it's very professionally shot. So until tomorrow, I'll probably do one more live stream. Tomorrow usually I live stream. Tomorrow's my usual time, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, probably your night time, my tomorrow. But until tune in then, and we'll have another red pill experience. So peace out, guys. Have a good one. Bye bye.